this here and just kind of zip through it.
I'm going to leave the door open unless somebody gets obnoxious outside.
Alrighty.
I'm feeling about 5 minutes into the video I'm going to regret that decision.
What's the episode?
10.
Season 3.
Wow.
I'm all the way over here.
Awesome.
3.10. CastaBlasta
3.10.
version 3.10.
Oh, man. I'm in the corner. Oh. Hi, John.
Hey
How
there.
are you?
Are you
Hey.
are we fully framed up video wise?
Well, except for where I'm sitting right now. Once I huddle up to the microphone, I'll be...
Okay, once you cuddle up, you should be good.
Yeah, once I
a little bit?
cuddle, I'll be all right.
All right.
Well, I'm not barefoot, but I did take my shoes off.
I am barefoot. Hallelujah. I am
Wow.
barefoot. Hallelujah.
Oh.
Everybody needs
All right.
I'm not barefoot. I'm wearing socks.
somebody
see.
sometimes.
Socks.
Socks.
I'm going to check my video
Socks
framing
rocks.
here.
Yeah, you could have just flipped the thing, but you're not. Oh, boy.
Look at that.
Just took a drink from my invisible.
Look how well that's framed.
It is
look
kind
at
of
that.
good. I mean,
How does that key out, huh? How does that key out, you guys? How does that key
What?
out?
Mystery drink.
Wait, hold on a second. I want to see this.
no, mine looks fine. Maybe I should have green label.
Yeah.
Mystery drink.
That just
But-
looks cool.
All right, you guys. You want to do a podcast or what?
See
Nope.
right through it.
Do I have to do anything for this one, or can I just sit here? I guess I should
You
probably
can,
start the
you
recording.
can hit record.
Yeah,
you want.
I guess I should.
Hit the right
Did we hit
buttons.
record on the Ustream side?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, tell me
So
when,
we're already recording.
and I will hit the big red button.
Go ahead
Oh
and hit
boy.
it. Holy moly. Welcome to CastaBlasta Season 3, Episode 10. My name is Brian. With me is Jeremy.
Hi.
And John.
I made it.
And Chris.
Hello, Brian.
All right. This is a very review-heavy episode in that we are reviewing one thing that I want to review a lot. I want to review the crap out of Transformers 2 because I have a lot to say about Transformers 2, and we're going to
And
save
there's a
it.
lot of crap in it.
Did you see it, John?
Yes, I did.
Okay, there we go. So we've all seen it.
I'm fresh from my screening. actually.
We're also later on the show going to be reviewing the new show Virtuality, which by its sheer title alone, it makes you think, wow, that's going to be amazing. And it's by Ronald Moore, who just never does anything bad. So we're going to review that later on in the show. So if you don't like spoilers,
Are we in
we'll
Bizarro
let you know.
CastaBlasta?
He's
Yes.
an angel.
He is, isn't he? Later
a
in the
gift
show,
from baby
we'll let you
Jesus.
know so you can tune out. So let's start with a little bit of news, though, because there's some decent stuff happening that I have
Thank you.
mixed feelings on. Let's kick it off right now with Alien Nation.
Okay.
Just at the top here. So Alien Nation, for those of you who don't remember, was a show that any of you who were cool watched
Wait,
when you were
A
kids.
TV show.
Yeah, a TV show.
A TV show, right.
Television.
So
USA, I
the
think.
basic idea, for those of you who don't know, is these people, right? They're aliens, but they're kind of like people, except their heads are shaved and they've got like
Spots.
you know?
Yeah.
And they
Ooh.
come down and they're like, we're here now. We totally love you guys. And they try to integrate with society, but there's prejudice still.
Maybe
and then
it's
one of
a
the aliens
rash.
becomes a cop, and he has a partner that's a human, and they deal with that together.
Right.
And it was actually a lot of fun. It was actually a pretty decent show.
Yeah.
It
It wasn't
so
terrible.
No, it wasn't.
It's like Mac and Me.
Heavy-handed message.
It's like Mac and Me. Holy moly, Mac and Me was like one of the worst shows ever.
That's weird.
Holy crap. Okay, it's a complete side note. If you have not seen Mac and Me,
Don't.
no, you have to.
No, you totally do have to.
But you know, get
set your
get your
baseline.
friends together. Get drunk first if you can, because it's basically E.T. done as badly as you can possibly do E.T. And that all by itself kind of is amazing when you think about it.
No, it's really great.
They got funding for it and everything, and it's so hard to watch. Like,
Kids
there's
liked aliens. Let's just make another movie.
exactly. So anyway, so Alien Nation, it's being remade. They're doing kind of a new Alien Nation. And at first I was
Hello,
like,
Brian.
what?
We're reading the chat room.
Just say hi.
We're still listening. Go
You
on.
guys are
we're-
still
we're
here.
in. Still in.
How about we do this? I'm gonna do a show.
All right.
You guys just hang out in the chat room.
All right.
Okay. That's
good.
perfect.
All right. So did you guys watch Alien Nation?
Yes.
You know,
Yeah,
I've seen like a dozen episodes.
Yeah.
There's not
I'm
that
the
much
same.
more than that.
Oh, really?
There's not like it's not like there was like
Yeah.
a 100-episode run. This isn't
just-
like Cheers
it
we're talking
felt
about.
like-
here.
Alien Cop season 8. Doesn't work.
It just felt like
Bad
they
aliens,
were
bad
they were
aliens.
the heavy-handed with a message whenever I watched it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, dude, but it felt like
Well, they were.
this is a
Yeah.
comment on racism. I'm like, cool.
He just had
that's-
liver spots on his head.
That's your
not-
whole thing is a comment on racism.
Well, yeah. Well, did I mean you guys remember V, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
Yeah.
so V was one of the greatest miniseries.
And they're
ever.
remaking that.
And they're remaking that. But the thing was, the messages in V were very heavy-handed
Wasn't
too.
there a
But it
hot-
was awesome.
a hot daughter in Alien Nation.
Yeah, there was, but she still had dots on her head.
But she had
No
like
hair.
a body, right?
Yeah, she was kind of.
Yeah, she
You
was
still
kind of
love
cute.
me.
Yeah, no, seriously, I would marry an alien. I decided right then and there that I am not racist against hot aliens.
There
This
you
was
go.
the thing I decided from a very young age. So anyway, they're remaking it, and originally I was like, oh no, they can't do that. But then I thought about it, and I'm like, but probably no one really actually remembers it, so it doesn't matter that
cares?
much.
Yeah, I remember it being on when I was young.
Yeah, see, that's the
Yeah,
thing.
I didn't watch.
And-
I don't remember too much about it. I just remember not really caring
And
for it.
here's
too
what's
much.
actually kind of great: the guy at the head of it is Tim Minear or Minear.
And he's got a great track.
Veneer?
Yeah,
Veneer.
he's
He has
got a great track.
track
like
record.
Yeah,
Manure,
he
but
built
you
a
don't
play
hate
set
it.
for his little boy. That's awesome.
He first kind of got famous with Buffy.
He likes
actually.
X
Buffy-
Files.
Oh, X Files. Sorry, X
He
Files
likes
and Buffy.
trains.
Yeah, and
And
then
Angel.
Firefly and Dollhouse and Angel.
He works with Joss Whedon quite a bit.
Yeah, he works with. I mean,
Yeah.
basically, now here's the really great thing though. If you think about it, this is a show about cops and aliens. He worked on X Files
Mhm.
and at Dollhouse.
And he likes trains.
I'm like, so you mean shows
Yeah, he
with
likes
cops
trains,
and
that's right.
aliens type
it's
stuff
good.
and sci-fi? I'm like, you know what? If anyone could pull off Alienation, it's this guy. So
the doctor.
Yeah.
So
I'm
so
kinda
this,
excited.
Not to be heavy-handed.
this will be the direct. This guy is he's going to be the director for Alien. The
I think he's
Writer,
just
head
generally
writer.
he's the
okay.
head writer. Yeah,
Head writer,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So really, this could bode well. So this is coming to the Syfy, the Syfy network.
Now the
Yeah.
problem that I have with
But,
this is that
yeah.
we're kind of in the midst of a little genre overload on on that thing. Aliens come to integrate into our society. We've
with
got-
cops.
Because
Yeah.
of E.
Well, V is going to be remade. They're
Yep.
redoing Alienation, and this new movie we'll talk about later, I think, is District 9. Is
Yeah.
kind of the same thing,
Mm.
same vein, anyway.
What if they
So-
called it something else, like
Alien, something else,
like Alien and a Cop or something?
Or
Because
that's not an alien.
like Mac and Me.
Mac and me. Yeah. Well, yeah, you're right.
They're
If
not
we
liver
gave
spots.
it a terrible name, that would make it all better.
Uh-huh.
All right. So
Who
so
dat
that's
alien?
coming.
Liver
We're-
Spot Nation.
Mhm.
The thing that makes me happy about this though is right now we're kind of have a lack of good sci-fi TV because
Yeah.
we had
Yeah.
some good stuff, but some of it ended, some of it got canceled,
Mhm.
and well, we're between seasons right now.
Yeah.
But to see some new good sci-fi coming down the pipe is really exciting. There's also one that I'm not really sure if I'm excited about, despite the people that are involved with it in terms of acting, called Defying Gravity.
Tell me
Now,
about
this is-
Defying Gravity.
It's a single concept show.
It's about
How
Flying?
highbrow, John. That was very good highbrow humor. I liked it. We're not going to have any more highbrow humor,
Okay.
though. That's it. We hit our quota.
Fart.
So it's a space drama. So basically, it is being helmed. I believe one of the persons involved was from Desperate Housewives. But basically, it's in space on the space journey.
Okay.
And the captain is Ron Livingston, who plays the super awesome guy who just doesn't want to do anything from
I like-
Office Space. Which I like him a great deal. He's very
Yeah, he's
watchable.
great.
He's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
How-
very
However,
charismatic.
I just kind of got to. It's also starring. Oh, what's her name from Dead Like Me? I can't remember the actress's name. but
Is
she's
it the
good.
head? The head of Dead Like Me? What's her name?
No. It's not her. It's not the main chick in Dead Like
Janet
Me.
Jackson.
It's one of
The
the
blonde who
other
was
ones.
also in 24?
Yeah, yes.
She was in 24.
Yeah. Right.
She was bad.
But I mean, she'd be
Blonde.
fine.
She
Whatever.
dated
But anyway, but Defying Gravity. So it's sci-fi, but it's sci-fi drama. With
Do we know
kinda
anything
some
about it
Desperate
other than
Housewivesy thing.
that they
Basically,
called it a
they're on
space
a
drama?
yeah. They're on like a big mission and they're flying through
So
space.
you're talking about virtuality.
We'll get into that.
'Cause that sounds like virtuality.
No. It's not virtuality. It's just a space drama. It's more
Is it
Desperate
spaceships,
Housewivesy
or is
than
it-
anything else.
Or is it just like future? Is it?
It's
I mean,
future
are they on a
spaceships.
spaceship like
Yeah, a
Star Trek,
spaceship,
or are
yeah.
they on like a space station? Do
Like
we
a
know?
spaceship.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a spaceship. That's
Okay.
all. That's all we really
Alright.
know. But it's
Now,
I
is it a
think
ship
it's getting
in
a full
space?
half season order.
Interesting.
It's a
Outer
space
space?
ship. Chris,
Okay.
Chris, look at me. I want to see your eyeballs so that I know you understand what I'm saying. It's a space ship.
Well, technically, any ship is a spaceship.
Yeah,
Is
when you
it
say-
an outer spaceship?
Unless it's a waterborne ship.
CastaBlasta,
Like a-
nitpicking things since 2006. So there's that. I'm really not excited at all about that because honestly, after the virtuality pilot, which we'll get into a little bit, I really don't need any more drama in space. I'm done.
I was kind of done with Deep Space Nine.
I thought space was fun.
That was a good face,
There
Jeremy.
you
I
go.
like that a lot.
Deep Space
All
Nine
right,
was all I
so
needed. That was good.
so we all saw Transformers 2. Let's not talk about it yet, but I want to talk about one of the trailers that happened.
All right.
Okay.
At the beginning of Transformers 2, they had the big Avatar: The Last Airbender by
Yeah.
M. Not Shyamalan
Oh,
Ding
man.
Dong.
That guy's just falling off a cliff, isn't he?
Dude.
People are excited about this
So
movie.
here's
what
here's
am I
the
not
thing.
getting?
So here's the thing. I wanted to bring this up.
Now,
Because
this is a movie based on the kids show.
The kids
the
show.
NRA kids show.
But it seems to be a really popular one.
It is.
with
Yeah, it is.
adults. And this is
Yeah.
why I wanted to bring this up.
All right.
If you are not a 12-year-old Japanese girl, you are not allowed to like this show. Period. End of story. Stop liking it. Stop going to forums about it. Stop talking about it in little talkbacks for other sci-fi movies that are coming out. If I want to go and I want to read up on Transformers 2, I don't want to see a little thing in there talking about how great the new Avatar Next Airbender blah 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 is going to be. I don't want to see that anymore. You're a 35-year-old man, and it's just really really weird.
Brian, did
End
you,
of story.
Brian, did you notice in the trailer though? He can do things with wind.
Yeah, that's his deal. That's his whole deal.
Yeah, he was breaking
Holy
wind.
Lord.
He can blow out candles.
Did you see all those candles? That must have been
here's-
an epic crap.
Okay,
ton of
let me
work
say
to line up.
something
Must have
about
been
this, though.
hot.
I think he just blew them
All
all.
right, Jeremy's going to try and defend why really creepy old men
Okay, let
can
me-
like this movie.
Let me say, the actual TV show is kind of stupid. I've watched a couple episodes just on a whim. It's
It's
bad.
retarded. It's
But this
retarded
trailer-
beyond all measure.
This trailer actually has me a little bit excited that
No,
the
it
movie
doesn't.
could not entirely suck.
Uh-huh.
Here's why.
Oh, no, you're
Because,
right.
no,
Because remember the movie that M. Night made where there was like a pool and a motel? It was so good.
Yeah, yeah.
And a mermaid.
Okay,
Oh,
but here,
no,
the-
maybe
the
it wasn't a
trailer
mermaid,
starts-
though.
I'm not
didn't
even
see
going to
it.
get through this, am I? Should I just
No.
give up?
Well, I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know
not.
then.
It's not likely.
I don't
Okay, the trailer
understand.
starts out and he's just putting out candles, and that's lame. And we all know that it's a kid's show. But
I'm
at
going to
the
be honest
end
with
of
you.
the
I put
trailer-
out candles like that before.
At the end of the trailer, you saw there was like thousands of
I'm not gonna
ninjas
make
coming about this guy. Ninjas
Yeah.
with grappling hooks.
No, I
on
agree with that.
Big ships.
Yeah.
You know? And there
Uh-huh.
were thousands of them.
Oh.
Now, if the airbender is going to be a kung fu master
The
that can
Airbender.
that can kick the crap out of thousands of ninjas with grappling hooks, then the movie might not entirely suck. That's my statement. I'm sticking to it.
So they're making the Smurfs, and it's going to be in 3D. Now here's the difference between that and the Airbender thing is if you are a grown man who's 35 years old, you are entitled to be excited about seeing the Smurfs in 3D.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
No,
no,
Brian.
no. Just
Dude,
'cause-
I was trying to make Jeremy feel good about something, guys.
no,
Come
you're
on.
still not. You're still not.
You're right. You're right. You're still not allowed to be excited. But
You
seriously,
could have just supported me instead of pandering. No, whatever. I'm
All
out.
right.
I'm done.
Okay.
No, don't.
flip the table.
No,
when
don't
you're
go.
angry.
Please stay.
are done professionally.
Yeah, that's it. No, but seriously, they are making a Smurfs movie in 3D. Like put on 3D goggles and stuff.
I'm down if we get the
Awesome.
original voice actors.
I want it to be so violent.
Here's the problem with that movie is there's only one girl.
Well, let's just talk about the potential there.
There you go.
Right? Hot. Right?
Blue.
Right.
Hot?
Blue. Oh, wait. Speaking of hot, Robo Geisha. All right,
What?
we need to mention this briefly. So have you guys seen the trailer for Robo Geisha?
No,
Mm-mm.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
but I'm already turned on.
I watched the Airbender trailer 300
You guys
times.
really
I
haven't? All right. For those of you who have not seen the trailer for Robo Geisha, I will give you the brief synopsis. There are geishas in Japan, right? They are all. So basically, it starts out with a geisha like feeding a guy grapes. It's like geisha.
Hooker.
Geisha is beautiful. And it does that a couple of times, and then it gets to this point where this geisha is standing over a guy, and the guy's looking at her. He's dressed in a nice suit, and then it geisha is. And then basically she pulls a T-1000. Her arm morphs, or not a T-1, yeah, and morphs into a giant blade, stabs him through the mouth. Geisha is robot, and then it gets really intense
That's
from
pretty
there.
awesome. That's pretty awesome.
And so the geishas
Wow.
apparently are in a war. And these buildings
man.
turn into robots and start slicing other buildings. And when they cut other buildings, the buildings bleed like
Aw.
huge quantities of blood. And then they start going through like half of the trailer is about the powers of the geisha. So like geisha, katana. And it's like katanas that stick out of their butt, and they go around and they butt fight. They swing it around by swinging their butts, and there's the swords. And then they're like, and then
Movie
halfway
or
through-
Brian's dream?
seriously.
I've never heard of it.
And then I kid you not, they cut to this other one where they go geisha chainsaw, and the geisha is just like this plastic, horrible mold of the geisha's face. Instead of where her mouth is, it's a giant. It's a giant chain blade that's like way bigger than her head out of her mouth. And the guy's like, no. And they shoot like lactic stuff out of their boobs, and it's acid, and it like mutilates people.
Here's what I'll say.
It is the most amazing movie trailer I have ever seen.
And Brian is looking for a distributor.
My take from this is if they get Michael Bay to direct it, it's gold.
Oh, man.
Dude, I am not joking with you guys here. Robo Geisha. Check this out.
If this isn't a Michael Bay movie, I don't know what is.
It's insane. Oh yeah, and at one point, his geisha's running down the road, like trying to chase like a semi truck. Geisha transformer, and she like becomes like this half tank, half geisha, and she's like swerving around in traffic, and she can climb up the side of buildings. And
is it a hot tank?
No,
Sounds like
it
the
kind of
coolest
looks
movie from
terrible.
Dragon Wars.
It's basically it's really cheap looking. The graphics look terrible, but because of the idea and the execution, I think this is going to be like, I'm going to say right now, blockbuster of the summer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
Nice, dude.
I just want to point that out in case you guys haven't seen that yet. All right, so let's move on.
You will.
Hey, did you guys hear about the Watchmen DVD that's coming out?
Dude.
Yes.
In a month?
Yes.
The Blu-ray version is like crazy special features.
Really?
Director,
Blu-ray version.
the director walks you through.
Those were good finger quotes. I
It's like
that.
it's like the director hosts. He's in front of a green screen and he
Zack
walks you
Snyder.
through every freaking scene.
Yeah.
And like breaks it down.
Not every. There's only 12 scenes. There's only 12 scenes that
I
he
mean,
steps
every
out.
scene
for.
that's
Yeah.
on every scene that's on the Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the special feature. I mean,
Right.
He walks you through every scene that they specialize in, and they do like a split screen deal where you see like the behind the scenes version and the real version, and he walks you through the whole thing. It looks epic. It's only going to be $27 for like the uber crazy version.
It looks incredible. I mean, it's
Yeah, it
like
looks great.
you know, and I really haven't gotten into the Blu-ray thing much yet, but I gotta be there for
I'll
that.
put a link to it in the show notes.
It looks
because
incredible.
I've already pre-ordered it.
I mean, this is what Blu-ray should be. I mean, with all the special
it's
features
just
and
gonna look
everything.
amazing.
Oh man, I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be very cool, and if you were a fan of The Watchmen, this is definitely the one to get. I'll link it in the show notes for this episode.
All right.
Speaking of which, of things that we're really, really excited for,
Street Fighter Legend of Chun-Li is on DVD.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Right?
I'm assuming
yeah.
that our minds were synced on that one.
There you go.
No, even better. I know after the last Resident Evil movie, you guys were left with a lot of questions.
Yes.
Yes.
Like, why did they make this movie?
Yeah, well,
Why did they make the second one?
Resident Evil Afterlife is coming.
Remember, she has powers.
Ah.
Yeah, it's
Zombie
coming out.
powers.
It's set for like a summer 2010 release, so we're gonna get another one, and it looks like Mila Jovovich is gonna be in that one too.
Yep.
That's
Well,
her career now. That is what she does.
It really is. It really, really is. Yeah.
Way to go, Mila.
So anyway,
remember when she was
that's
in Fifth
happening.
Element?
Yeah.
That was a lot better.
Yes.
Naked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't. You know, Fifth Element was all right.
Dude, I cannot believe
never really got
you
into
walk
that movie a
around
lot.
clucking the big sci-fi cluck all the time, and you don't like Fifth Element.
Yeah.
I like
It's
Fifth
like the-
Element.
There's an
I just
opera
don't like
scene.
it like people
There
like
is
it.
an opera scene.
Yeah, you're right.
Hold on. Let me ask you a few questions. Does it involve aliens? Yes. Does it
Yes.
involve
Yep.
spaceships? Yes.
Yep.
Does it involve Bruce Willis? Yes.
Yep.
Does it involve naked Mila Jovovich?
And
Yes.
fancy guns. And is the secret answer love?
Yes.
Yes.
See, this is my problem.
But see, that's where
with
it
that
takes
movie.
kind of a Final Fantasy twist.
See, that's the thing. Yeah, it does. It kind of goes
But
more
it's-
towards Final Fantasy, is the opera and the love thing. It's like, you know what?
Oh wait.
That's okay.
The
I'll
stones
forgive
were
it.
in her.
Hold up.
It gets
Hold on.
old.
Do I need to recap? You got spaceships. You got aliens. You got Bruce Willis. You got crazy guns.
Crazy guns.
Crazy
super awesome guns.
Yeah, crazy good guns, no doubt.
You got the bad guy who's awesome, Gary Oldman.
And you got
Yeah.
you got what's his face, the Chris guy that does the stupid voice the whole time.
You got bleeding from the forehead.
I'm just gonna say this right now. Did I say somewhere that this was a horrible, horrible movie?
No.
Because I actually like this movie.
Well, it sounds
What I
like
dis-
no.
what
It
I
sounds like
did-
you're a big freaking hater. is what it
And
sounds like.
love. It's love, everybody.
Honestly, it would be one of my favorite movies.
Aziz, light.
And
If-
Luke Perry.
If, as
Luke
Jeremy
Perry.
says, it didn't take kind of a Final Fantasy twist.
Yeah.
Honestly, because I felt like
Oh.
I'd been there
Hey,
before
Brian,
and I
hey,
didn't
Brian.
care for that.
But hey, on that Final Fantasy twist, is Bruce Willis in it? And is it
In this
involving,
movie, yeah.
Is it involving stopping an alien attack? I'm just checking. I'm just asking some basic questions here.
got Bilbo Baggins.
So, so there's going to be an Asteroids movie.
Yes.
oh,
Now,
finally.
Here's the
Segue.
thing. Now, when I say Asteroids
They're still
movie,
shopping.
There's a lot of rocks
you're
out
like,
here.
you're like, you mean they're going to remake, Armageddon?
No.
No. You're gonna make meaning Deep Impact. They're gonna make Deep Impact.
That'd be
No.
awesome too,
No.
Morgan Freeman.
They have. There has been a bidding war. I kid you not, a freaking bidding war about the video game Asteroids. Not some
For the
new
movie
game that you're
rights.
thinking about. The movie rights for the old,
Amazing.
early 80s,
Awesome.
Everybody
black and
remembers it.
white Asteroids.
Epic
It was
game though, right?
They made Pong, and then they made Asteroids.
No. They made Pong, and then they made Tank, and then
Right,
about
Tank.
70 some odd games later came Asteroids.
But hold on.
But it was like-
Asteroids
it
was
though
early.
is still just a frack ton of fun.
It is.
Yeah, no,
It
Asteroids
I
is a great
suck
game.
at it.
Asteroids
me
is a
too.
great,
I'm
great game.
terrible.
There's no doubt. I have a warm spot in my heart for
I'm
Asteroids.
amazing.
Now, here's the thing, though.
I thought I was the asteroid.
That's great. All right.
So,
Oh, sorry.
so we don't know anything about this, other than they're making this movie.
Kicked the crap out of that ship.
It just sat there.
Oh, Chris just really entertained himself just there.
All right. Sorry.
No, that's actually all I had for that. I mean,
Yeah.
we got nothing.
Well, what can they do with the movie? I mean, it's just going to
Anything
be like
they want. That's the thing. They can
No,
do.
no.
There's no lore. There's no canon.
There's no canon. My
No,
general
but-
thinking is they've got to make sure that the ship is shaped like a triangle.
Yes.
If the ship is
Right.
shaped like a triangle, and when it shoots the guns, it's got to go pew pew.
And
pew,
it's just
pew.
little bullets.
Yeah, and
it
they have to
has
go very
balls.
slowly.
Yeah. You have to go slowly, and I want to have like some really great actor. Honestly, Bruce Willis would be great in this.
Uh-huh.
Who's just pissed off
Oh,
at
that's
how
funny.
slow his ship turns.
I want this to be one of the lines. The asteroids are splitting up into smaller asteroids.
And at the end of it, they realize there's just asteroid dust everywhere that's about to annihilate Earth, and they're just like, we didn't really think this through, did we?
Oh.
But yeah,
Oh,
we know
man.
nothing really about this movie.
There's
but
more on this though. I posted something for you. There's other games in the similar vein that are also being made into.
Yes.
The rights have been sold.
Okay,
to,
now wait a minute.
Dig Dug.
Jeremy
Please.
just said in a similar vein.
Yeah.
Jeremy,
What?
I would say that Candyland does not qualify as a similar vein to asteroids. How on
okay,
any
okay, I'll give
planet?
you that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Fail.
Describe it to me real quick.
Fail.
No, okay, so this is what I was getting at. is that
Okay.
Old games that you would never think of could ever be made into any sort of cohesive idea on the big screen.
I'm going to be honest. I think I saw the Candyland movie, and it was starring Jenna Jameson, and it wasn't bad.
Where was the
I,
Candyland?
Where was the kid?
so Universal, is making a battleship is option Battleship and Candyland.
Yeah.
Okay, now hold up. Battleship?
Yeah.
Battleship.
Seriously, we have not had a really good Battleship movie.
You know,
Fine.
actually, that is a great thing. A battle,
that.
a basically a Navy on Navy battle.
Right?
Maybe like Mist rolls in. We can't see where they are, and it's two navies fighting each other through trial and error.
That could be
great.
freaking epic,
It'd
dude.
be boring as
Or
hell.
maybe if,
We had to hit him 5 times. It must have been his battleship.
No, that's the aircraft carrier.
Oh, that's
okay.
ridiculous, you guys. All right. District 9. Jeremy, tell me about District 9.
It's a Peter Jackson film coming
Uh-huh.
soon. Actually, it's within the next. It's releasing in August. And it again, like I mentioned earlier, is aliens somehow come to Earth.
Yeah,
and they
that's
have to
weird.
try to integrate themselves into our society.
That's
But
a
they're
new
like
one.
weird bug-like aliens, so they can't really get along with people. And it looks like it's all being shot in this sort of a documentary style.
and they just like
Okay.
park their ship above cities, right? They just like a big
Oh,
old.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Independence Day?
Yeah. Now, come on, when the trailer
You know
rolled
you're
in,
right. I freaked
you
out.
saw it. You were in love with it.
Like the first minute of the trailer, I was like, "What the hell is this? Am I about to watch some you need to give to Greenpeace commercial or something?"
Right.
And then
No.
all of a
It's in South
sudden,
America.
all of
or
a
South
sudden,
Africa.
it turns into like a drama-ish version of
Yeah.
Independence Day, and I'm like, oh, I'm there. I have to be there opening night. The thing is, this movie, I'd heard of it, but it was not on my radar, like at all.
There was a bunch of viral marketing going on with this.
I-
If you go
I
to
just
their
missed it.
website, is also really cool. I was there for.
I think Chris and
I'm
John
good
over
for
there
that.
are
The
like
chat
in their
room was
own world.
playing Battleship.
Yeah. Sorry, it's funny.
All right,
That is kind of
moving
funny.
on. Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be a badass mother.
So
movie.
this looks like a great movie. Really great.
I'm not too fond of the documentary style. But
I don't
think-
know. I want to put it in my mouth. I think it's gonna be awesome. I really do.
It does look
Yeah.
actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of the documentary thing, and I was really put off by the documentary thing because of the most recent movie, the
Cloverfield,
TV
right.
show, which we are about to review
Oh.
briefly
Yeah.
here, Virtuality. But that said, Peter Jackson, he's a
Yeah.
good dude.
He's been doing great stuff.
I mean, he's done a lot of good stuff. So
What's
I
he
kinda-
done? Nothing.
yeah.
Guy
Well,
needs to make a name for himself. That's what he needs to do.
All right. In far more important news, Claire from Heroes may or may not be a lesbian
Dun dun dun.
for a little bit.
For a little-
What?
maybe.
Like
Oh,
she
yeah,
might
I heard
like,
about that.
She might like a chick.
Sorta. For a
Sorta.
minute.
For a minute.
I think they're making
A
real
scene. We're gonna get a
big
scene.
deal out of this.
God. Yeah.
This is
just
what the
for
shows come
publicity.
down to because they've got
I know.
nothing else.
I know.
They're doing publicity stunts.
Not that I mind. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, let's be serious. But
Come
anyway,
on, you'll tune in for that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
We're
totally
watching the
tape
show
it.
anyway.
That's what
Yeah.
the
I
30-second
love
repeats
midget
for.
porn.
Midget.
See, she can heal physically, but can't she heal emotionally?
Right.
Think about
The
that.
scars.
Well,
are on
now
the
I
inside.
feel
Love.
guilty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So should we mention that Brian, what's Foley, whatever his name is, the left Heroes too? The
Yeah.
guy that
Yeah,
was
we
supposed
probably
to turn
should.
it around.
We really should. So
Oh, yeah.
so Brian Fuller, you know,
Fuller, that's what it is.
who is
Pushing
great.
Daisies.
From first season of Heroes and from Pushing Daisies.
Yeah.
He basically he's great. He
And from
writes a lot of
Wonderfalls,
good stuff. Oh,
uh,
Wonderfalls, great
And
friggin'
Dead
show.
Like Me. Yeah.
A
Yeah.
really solid guy has left Heroes. So
Well, you know, the only big stinker in
bummed about
his repertoire has been Heroes recently.
Well, but he was gone the second season. He tried to turn
and
around.
honestly,
at the end.
it did kind of pull around
a little bit.
And-
It's
But
just so.
it did. I mean, with what they were working, with
Yeah,
what he
with
was
what he had
working
to
with,
work with.
he actually did a pretty
And
phenomenal
come
job.
on, Heroes was epic season 1, so you
It
really
was
had
good.
hope when he came back.
yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
Pushing
And
Daisies was
I
amazing.
actually did like some of the Heroes in the last season.
I just kinda get the
after it moved on,
I just kind of get the feeling that he came back, tried to save it, found he really
couldn't that well, and then left.
and left.
Yeah. I think Heroes is savable, but it would take a long time. I mean, I think it would take another half a season of a great writer working on it to
Yeah.
get it to a point where it would be set up for really
A
great
great
stories
writer
going
who
forward.
All new
who
heroes.
loves comic books.
Who really loves comic books,
Yeah.
and they just make sure Tim Krink does not be
Or-
involved at all.
Yeah.
Lesbian Claire.
Or you could just go that route. Yeah.
They could also introduce spandex outfits, and I'd be on board. That would
So-
Really?
turn
Because
it
it's
around.
mostly dudes.
Oh,
There's
I did
that,
not
isn't
think
there?
this
Yeah.
through.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
There's his banana.
I could really go for some banana bread right now. Just on a related note.
Okay, all right.
So
in a similar vein.
in a similar vein, wow, that was
There you go.
really tied together that way. Everyone, go ahead and take the banana reference and the vein thing and put it together. So the live-action Star Wars
J12.
TV show
That's happening.
has been
man.
rumored for a long time.
It's happening, dude.
Yep.
It is actually happening. It's in pre-production in Australia with a bunch of Australian writers working on it. And what they're going to do is they're going to finish writing, or they're going to write, because they haven't really started yet, the whole first season, which is going to be financed by Lucas himself, and filmed the whole season in a block. And then they're basically going to shop it to the studios
Instead of just doing the usual 5
instead
or
of
6,
instead of
7
doing the thing.
And so
yeah.
the word is,
which is really probably
it's gonna
pretty
be
smart.
it's going to be a 14-episode season.
Not that I read.
Well, that's what I've read on
Oh.
on science.
Well,
It's
we'll
gonna
have
be
to get back.
14
later.
episode, but get this.
I use the internet for
Check
mine.
this out.
Are they hour longs, half hour? Do you
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think they're hour longs, but 14 episode with the potential for the story to last 400.
Yes, that's what he's
No.
saying. He said that for sure 100
okay, wait.
episodes, possibly 400.
Okay, but the whole story is supposed to take place between episodes 3 and 4, right?
Yes.
How much time passes?
Like,
18 years or something?
Something like that.
yeah.
Did George
Okay.
Lucas write any of it?
No.
know?
No.
That's
he's
fine
just,
then. That's
see, this is
fine.
the thing. He's just an executive producer. He just says,
A
you know
detached
what, I
executive
can use
producer.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's supposed to not be very involved.
He's
As long
not
as
being
he's not
very.
great
writing or
news.
directing.
Well,
You know what's you know they
Yeah.
realize it's a bad situation when they're doing when they're talking to the public, like, yeah, but he's not involved very much. Like you know that they're inside they're like, man, this guy's a liability.
I want like the opening titles to be like the first 3 episodes never happened.
Yeah. Yeah. They need to do like the J.J. Abrams effect to it and just
Right.
reset that.
Yeah.
They really do.
they
so
could just set
that's
it up
happening.
like it's somebody telling a story,
right.
and they got it all wrong.
Whoa.
Mhm.
Science. Star Wars is
Yeah.
like some of the very rare sci-fi that actually has it doesn't involve actual time travel. Like it jumps around time, like it
Right.
over the
Yeah,
years.
that's true.
but
Actually,
there's no actual
time.
time travel in Star Wars.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
right.
That is freaking refreshing.
It
Yes, it
kind of
is.
is in a way. Yeah.
It's like
I've always said I don't
it's
like
a cold
time
cup
travel.
of Star Wars.
Just wait. It's gonna happen.
well, in
They'll be
400
there,
episodes.
they'll be there, and they'll be like, you know what? We're just gonna take this matter and antimatter, and we're gonna just do it cold.
Well, I'm worried about.
They'll just
in
put
400
a red mat.
episodes.
you should write that.
They're
Yeah,
gonna,
there you go.
if they go even 100 episodes, they're gonna run that thing to the ground.
All right. So that's kind of interesting. There's currently, according to Lucas, there's no big characters that are going to be involved in
But
the
their
series
options
that
are
are
open
in
for
the movies.
cameos.
But
I-
options-
I
the
don't need
only
cameos.
one that's possibly been rumored to be attached is Boba Fett.
Yeah, I was actually hearing that was
Jabba the Hutt.
They
will
totally
show
ruined
up.
Boba
Yeah.
Fett for me.
Yeah.
Jabba
Boba
the
Fett.
Hutt will be
Right.
in it. I bet you my left nut, the Jabba the Hutt will show
You
up.
think Yoda
Yeah.
will be involved somehow too?
Yeah, probably.
As long as they also put in Jabba's gay cousin or uncle.
Yeah,
or
that they
whatever,
did that they added from Clone Wars.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was pretty fantastic. Okay. Let's kind of wrap up some of the news because I want to get into the reviews here because I got stuff to say. All right, start with. All right, I'm actually going to hold tight on this for now because that's news that we'll talk about.
Okay.
Hell with it. Let's jump into the reviews.
All right.
All right, here we go.
Should we start out with virtuality?
Yeah, let's start with virtuality so we can hit on a friggin' high note with Transformers 2.
I know.
I didn't watch this.
Virtuality. All right,
I think
so
only Brian and I have watched it because we somehow got our hands on early review copies.
so virtuality. Ronald Moore.
We
Now,
love you.
Ronald Moore, you may know from all of the worst episodes of Voyager. And you may also know him from ruining Battlestar Galactica and being a general overall douchebag. You might remember him from that.
And having a huge douchebag scene.
I remember him in
last
the UN.
episode of
That
Oh
was-
yeah. You remember the last episode of Battlestar Galactica?
The
Of course
douchebag
you
reading the
do
news-
because it burned into your retinas because it was so awful. The
Didn't answer
douchebag
anything?
reading a newspaper near the very end
Yeah.
when the two Cylons are standing next to each other, kind of being angel and demon or whatever the F they were doing.
God.
And there's this guy who just looks like an overweight Jesus douchebag standing there reading a newspaper with a stupid shit-eating grin on his face. That's Ronald Moore. When you felt like I want to punch the guy I just saw, that was Ronald Moore.
I did too.
So,
I don't care about the hours you put into this.
That's a good point. I didn't. Anyway, he's got this new show. And not the Caprico one. That's the screwed up thing that we don't want to talk about. This show
I
is
love the chat
completely
room.
unrelated to Battlestar Galactica. It's called Virtuality. The idea behind Virtuality is a simple one. We have to save Earth, so we're going to go on this expedition with this ship that's going to travel to this other planet that looks like it can inhabit life. Great idea. Okay, it's going
right.
to take 10 years to get there.
And they travel by blowing up something behind them.
All right, that's a great idea. Honestly, so basically
They deploy
have
a big dish and then they kind of like ride off
they have,
explosions.
they have
That's
nuclear
funny.
warheads
Yeah.
that they shoot out of the butt of the ship, and they have this dish that absorbs the
there, huh?
shock and propels them forward. It's a cool idea, and it makes for a really good looking thing. So their crew is like,
Butt
what is it, like
propellant.
7 or 8 people, right, Chris?
Oh yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, and here's the thing, Brian, is before you go too far, anything you see in this show, like the externals of the ship or the butt nukes, it's all done
Yeah.
with like if they do external shot, it's
It's like hidden camera style is what it is. So it's the yes, it is. It's like hidden camera style, and they've got these little like cam 1, cam 2, cam 3 kind of a thing, like you're in the Big Brother house basically.
Okay.
So, oh man, Chris is losing it over there.
What's going on?
All right, so,
Butt
Yeah,
nukes, I think.
Button
so now here's the thing. All right. Let me finish with the
so
synopsis.
everything is done like even like the reality style interviews where you have somebody go in the room and they talk to the camera for a bit.
Yeah.
They do
I
that.
can't believe he said that to me.
They have hall room. They have hallway cams.
That is what it's like.
But you know what it is it's like you can tell they're like these really high end movie studio cameras that then they've tried to make look really low end in post. So they
Yeah.
have like fake video effects done to them and things like that. It's
And
just-
it all looks a lot like just like they applied an iMovie effect to it.
Yeah, exactly.
It really doesn't look that high end. So the whole thing is they're like, okay, some psychiatrist guy who is now on the ship as a crew member and also is the producer of a reality TV show about the ship's crew.
Yeah.
I kid you not.
And is
on the
married to
thing
one of them.
And is married to one of them.
Who's cheat? Oh, I probably should give
Yeah,
that
don't.
away,
All right,
sorry.
yeah. So, so decided that it would be too emotionally taxing to be on that long of a journey. So they used the virtual reality technology of the time, which I kid you not is freaking goggles that look like they came from like 1992.
Yeah.
They put them on and they're transported to basically what is the holodeck, except they don't actually move their bodies.
No, they're kind of like paralyzed while they do it.
Yeah, they kind of are. They
And-
can
and
hardly
so
move.
one of the
yeah.
things
More like
that-
Matrix goggles.
Kind of, yeah.
One of the things that they wanted to drive was if you die in the virtual world, you're just perfectly fine in real life. So within the first 10 seconds of the movie,
You don't care about
video,
anything?
somebody somebody gets killed to prove the fact that everybody's fine.
Right, that just
so
gets shot and killed.
All the drama that takes place in the virtual world, it's never really.
It
has
never
any.
actually matters.
Yeah.
So they established that right up front that
But
you
if your
don't
heart
need to
gets
matter.
broken in the virtual world,
Dude, that is exactly where it goes.
So I guess this.
the answer
You
is
kid,
love.
The answer
you
is love.
know, but that is where it goes.
I guess this is like
The
almost
treasure was knowledge.
word for word. I guess it's almost like concept for concept, a rip off of a book from the 70s. But anyways,
That was probably a lot better.
it is awful.
It is terrible.
It
It
is
is
really
so
bad.
beyond awful. It's one of those things. I actually went into it, and the first few minutes is all inside this virtual world, right? And I was getting a little bored. But it was
Oh, I
kind
gotta
of.
say something. I gotta say
Oh
something.
yeah.
Say it.
So one of the things they do to create all these different virtual worlds is they use really bad effects to make it obvious that you're in a virtual world.
Right.
But all that is just an excuse for them to use really poor CG. Like
It really
like
is.
the
Yeah.
green screening is not too much better than the green screening we're doing right now
Yeah,
live over
it's
the
it's
internet.
like one step above. Like they bought a better green screen curtain. Yeah, it
Yeah.
really is. That's what
Do
it
you
is.
see the edges like they see on ours?
No. Well, actually, yeah, you kind of do. They just blur it out, and
Yeah.
they get away with
They
it
lens
because
blur it. Yep,
yeah,
yep.
it's really pretty lame. So, but like the first few minutes, I got kind of bored, but it was a little quirky.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know what, this might be adorable. This
Yeah,
might
sure,
be kind of
sure.
fun.
No, you didn't. It was not a more.
Realistically, I went into it for the first 2 minutes. I was like, I'm not gonna like this. And then there was like a cute line. I don't even remember what it was. If you watch the
the
pilot,
girl
you'll
got
know
butt
what I
raped.
mean.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
She
that's
got butt
cute.
raped in the virtual world, and then they have this
That
whole
with the butt
segment.
was good.
They have the whole segment about how, when you get raped, you really get raped in your mind.
Yeah, it's not a body thing. It's totally a mind thing. I'm like, really? Because my butt hurts. And anyway, let's get off of that.
I'm putting a little spoiler out there so you don't watch it.
It was very, very
You're
bad.
welcome.
The models and the CG of the ships was gorgeous.
Yeah,
they did
not
a
bad.
really nice job of that. However, one of the persons on the ship, and every time they show a person talking, they put the little thing down at the bottom to tell you who it was. So there's this one chick.
As if it was the reality show.
Right, as if it was a reality show, because that's the whole thing. Is it's a reality show that's getting great ratings. The reality
God.
show host happens to be there and is also a computer programmer. So they show this chick who just looks like a random model chick, and they show her and she's talking. And it's computer programmer, reality show host, and I hated it. It made me so mad that all of that was on the screen, existed in one place.
Mm-hmm.
It just made me mad. I can't eat. Do you know what I'm? It's like they took 5 things, some of which I like, some of which I dislike, but they found the exact perfect combination to just piss me off. And I have no emotional investment in the show at this point. You know what I mean? I didn't
Yeah.
go into it like Battlestar. I
Right.
loved the first season. It was a ton of fun, and it pissed me off because it got so bad after that.
After that, yeah.
So maybe this one
Now
won't
this
piss you
show,
off.
no, see, that's what I figured, right? I went into it thinking, you know what? I don't give a crap if this is good or not. If it's bad, I'm just not going to watch it. And then there was just a couple of scenes where I'm like, the fact that this exists, it pisses me off.
Yes, I know.
I highly recommend that not only nobody watch it, but write your local congresswoman
Oh yeah.
or congressman and make sure that
You got to
it
do something about
all
this
gets
virtuosity.
burned. Virtuality, not virtuosity. That's,
Right,
that's,
sorry,
that's,
sorry.
that's an album.
That's-
I
yeah.
hate virtuosity too.
That's a movie.
Well, you know, yeah, it's horrible. It's
Bad.
the thing that really pisses me off is
It does have butt nukes.
it has butt nukes, and I want to see more butt nukes. And
Go to
Where
Taco
there's
Bell.
movies you can get for that.
and the thing is, either A,
think
the
they're
show gets
called?
picked up, and that's the only place I get to see butt nukes, and I just don't want to watch it, or it doesn't get picked up, and they blame the butt nukes, and so no other show ever uses them again.
Lose.
You see what I'm saying? You can't win with this show.
Damn you, Ronald Moore.
But seriously,
Now he's taking our butt nukes.
But seriously, and the thing is, it was a space show, and I want to like space shows
I
because
hear you,
honestly, even if the show's kind of crappy, even if it's cheesy and the dialogue is terrible, I want to see good space fights. I want to see
Yeah.
cool space shots, even if there's no battles.
But you know what I
wanna see
don't
cool
like?
externals
I
and
don't
stuff.
like reality shows, and you know what I don't like is like convoluted drama that's done
Yeah.
like just to have
Yep.
drama, and this
And
show
that's
has
what
it.
this is, and it
That's
just
so
happens
easy
to
to
be
do
in
with like
space.
I know,
a scripted show.
And
trying to be
it's really easy to do if you're a
Yeah.
douchebag. Yeah. So don't see it.
You'd know.
Let's talk about Transformers.
okay.
No,
So-
this is Transformers 2,
Yeah, Transformers.
not
Transformers
2.
2.
Right. Transformers 2.
More Transformers.
I'm
Revenge
gonna
of the
make sure
Fallen.
we get these points out there before we get into this. First off, Transformers 2 first 5-day take was just over $200 million.
Right.
Yes.
In reference,
Did
Jeremy
awesome.
points this
Did
out.
awesome.
Dark Knight did 203 in a similar time
It was
frame.
really close to like doing
So-
like a record for a
Yeah.
5-day
So just
performance.
about a record. So I mean,
Now keep in mind that Dark Knight got good reviews across the board.
Well, no, but now Michael Bay is just known these days for making.
Yeah, that's
he's
true.
He's a money
big,
making machine.
big money making
Yeah.
machine.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so let's talk about this. We've all seen it.
Yes.
We all love it. Chris,
Yeah.
why don't you tell me the top 2 reasons why this was the best movie of the year?
Megan Fox
Yeah, that's one really good reason. Yep.
and the Megatron actor, voice actor, has got a good voice.
Peter
Megatron?
Cullen?
Megatron,
Megatron.
or Optimus Prime?
Optimus Prime. Yeah.
Optimus Prime, yeah.
Yeah.
Who is the Optimus Prime from the original cartoon series?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Which, interesting
Sounds
tidbit,
way
I don't
better
know
now,
if it's ever been talked about before. The whole point with that was that he's trying to do a really bad John Wayne impersonation. He actually did that, and
Right.
that's what they decided sounded cool, so they went with it. Which I think is awesome.
Well, so
That is kind of cool. I had not heard that.
Once you know that and you listen to it, you can't help but hear John Wayne, and it makes it 10 times cooler.
Transformers, roll out.
remember when they dropped
liked
him
it.
from an airplane
Oh, dude.
for random reasons?
So,
but
all right.
Yeah.
dropping a semi from an airplane. That's awesome.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
that's pretty
I'm gonna lay
a
this
dead
out
semi.
straight up because I
Landed
want to get
3
this out of
seconds
the way.
later.
I mean,
Okay.
the opening in the beginning when they dropped him from the semi, so he could go kick that one.
Oh, right.
Lord.
Yeah, yeah.
So this movie is 2.5 hours long.
So Jay Berg hasn't seen it, Jay Berg, but we'll try.
Sorry.
Okay, let's try to keep the spoilers.
All
at
right,
the
we'll try
end
and
of
keep
the
the
review.
spoilers at the end of the review. All right.
Okay.
This
Try.
is 2.5 hours of a movie where at least 2
2
hours
and a half
are
hours.
robots fighting in awesome ways
Yeah.
all over the globe, like all over in
Mom's getting high
Japan,
on
Egypt, and
pop
everywhere.
brownies.
It's so
What?
great. And then about a
Spoilers.
half hour
Oh.
of just kind of goofing off. But most of that goofing off time is spent with the camera pausing on Megan Fox as it's panning past her. So I would like to challenge any of you
I
to
wanna-
tell me
I
why
wanna-
this movie is
I-
not
I wanna-
seriously the best movie all
I
year.
want to bring up.
I loved it.
I want to bring up a couple of points first. So
Go for it.
I did like this movie, and here's the
Love
thing:
this movie.
is the reason
I'm
why
gonna have sex with this
the reason why I
movie.
feel bad about that is this. There is a formula that Michael Bay has, and I fell for it, and I always do, and it is slow mo action hero moments a lot. You know, the
Yeah.
heroes in the movie get a lot of slow mo.
It's great.
There is there's just certain elements he uses, music at the right places.
Robots fighting.
That
Hot chicks.
the problem is it doesn't make for great actual movie,
No.
but it's so much fun that you enjoy it.
You're right. It's like a movie on the screen, and it's super entertaining, but it's not a movie.
Well, here's the thing.
what the hell
if
does
y-
that mean?
if- no,
what
if
do you
you
mean it
look
doesn't make a great movie? If you love it and it's a movie, it's a great movie.
Well, yes, and that's my point.
That's all it is.
That's what I'm saying. But if you look at it from the standpoint of like, there's just there's like so much in this movie that happens that did not need to happen. Like, when I left Transformers 1,
Oh, hell yeah.
one of my first thoughts was the next movie there's going to be a lot more of the mom because she did a good job. But the reason she was funny was because it was just enough. It wasn't too much,
Right.
and I knew in this
Yeah.
movie it was going to be way too much mom, and it was. There was
They
too
did
much. There were too many jokes with the mom.
I actually didn't mind the mom.
I didn't. Well,
know
that's the thing is I felt bad that I didn't mind it because it was too much. And then there's like too many little stupid jokes like where the what's his face the FBI the former agent like pulls off his and he
John Turturro.
and
yeah.
and he flashes his ass at the camera. That never needs to happen. There are like 3 separate shots of dogs humping that didn't need to happen.
No, those didn't.
And robots humping.
And
Yeah.
robot something.
Which they don't even produce sexually, so I don't anyways. But
But it was Megan Fox.
But on the other hand,
Yeah,
there were
that's
some of those stupid
awesome.
little moments that made us all laugh out loud. I know the three of us,
Yep.
not John, but the three rest of us saw it all together, and there were
no, I laughed.
like
I-
the stupid 2
what are you
robots.
guys doing,
the
guys?
twins.
Guys, how
Yeah.
come you're not answering my calls?
They took two twin robots that can join
they're getting a
together
lot of
and,
heat
and do
for.
stuff. It was incredibly racist. But to be honest with you,
It
I
was
don't
super
know
racist.
what race it necessarily was. I thought I
Moron.
knew.
Really?
But it was but seriously by like the end of it, I was like, I really am not sure. They like you thought they were just making fun of like a general African American stereotype, and then about halfway through, you're like, I think they just made fun of Irish people, and you're like, well, wait a minute, what kind of
Really?
accent
What?
was that?
well, no, it was they were going after the African American people.
But it was funny. I
One
mean,
of them had
who
a gold
cares?
tooth. What would the reason?
I
for
don't
that be?
read very good, but yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
I'm
but
not a
seriously,
reader.
they sound, but like half of their accent sometimes just sounded like
He done
white
got
hillbillies.
eight.
Yeah, it
I'm
was.
like, it really
Hey, done
wasn't.
got 8.
Honestly, I would posit that anyone who thought that just was them making fun of African Americans is themselves racist against black people.
I didn't.
Nice, right?
All
I
right.
just laid
Okay.
that
So
out there.
another one that.
Turn the tables.
All right. I won't give too much away.
I'm good at that.
This isn't spoiler, but Devastator makes an appearance and then
yeah.
is almost immediately taken out by a gun that just all of a sudden you've never heard of, and then is in the movie for like 3 seconds.
Dude, there's
and then,
two huge battles with the Devastator.
Dude, he's taken out with.
I would have liked to have seen more Devastator for sure, but there was 2 big battles.
Well,
with
you
got
to see a great shot of his balls. But
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
See, and that's
Another
that's the movie.
stupid combo.
That's kind of the movie in a nutshell,
is.
isn't it?
And
There's a robot, and
but
you get
there's
to see the
still
robot's
something-
balls.
There's still something I really enjoyed the movie. I really did. I
loved it.
I thought it's been said 100 times on the internet, but sometimes, and Brian, I know this wasn't an issue for you, but sometimes the action scenes with the robots is like when you're a kid and you take Transformers and you mash them together, and in your head you're visualizing an epic battle, but if somebody else is watching, you're just smashing robots together really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, actually, I felt that more for the first one for this one.
Yeah.
You know, I probably, I'm just going out on a limb. I probably enjoyed this the least out of all of us here. But for the first
Going
one,
out on a limb.
I was like confused with the robots fighting, just
Yeah.
because it just got kind of jumbled. And I had read that was the same for this movie, and I didn't feel that because they
There-
did a better
one
job like
time-
color coding the bad guys.
The
you
one
know?
time I noticed it is I didn't notice until maybe a minute or so in the battle that like Optimus Prime his swords were out.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
kinda cool.
I would have loved to have seen that actually happen, but it all happened so fast I couldn't quite tell. But that said,
Right.
the forest fight,
Yep.
there's a forest battle.
Oh, jeez.
There's a forest battle that not only is epic, but I was actually really, really sad by the end of it. Like I was bummed.
Yeah.
I was freaking out.
Yeah.
It was
forest
awesome.
battle.
Yeah, the forest battle where.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where Prime
Oh,
defends.
so
Oh, don't spoil nothing.
See, I
But,
knew what was going to happen in the forest battle before it happened, and then I knew what the resolution was going to be.
Yeah.
And they
So-
kind of telegraphed
aren't
that.
you
But
smart?
no, it's not even that. I'm sure you guys did too. It's
Yeah,
just
kinda.
Yeah.
It was
But
a
it
lot
was
of foreshadowing.
so
It's not
freaking good.
a movie for people that like smart movies. It's a
No.
dumb piece of fun.
Oh yeah.
There
It's a
were
dumb
parts
piece of fun for sure.
Yeah.
I
but
had
great
really low
fun.
expectations going in, and I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. I enjoyed it more than the first one.
I guarantee you.
I
though,
don't think there's just too much stuff that I didn't
Well,
care for. I thought the plot was really weak.
God, Megan Fox is gorgeous.
Whoa.
And
Gosh,
that-
and I
that's-
could not take my eyes off Megan Fox when she was on. Gosh,
And slow-mo
You know,
running
the,
scenes.
the
I mean,
evil
Michael
tongue
Bay knows what
demon
he's doing.
robot was really
Yeah.
hot.
You know
too.
what I had the problem with? The only problem I had with the movie was there were scenes where like Megan Fox
That
would be
might have been a
running,
spoiler.
Mm-hmm.
and my problem was there was a totally awesome robot running also, and I'm like, well, which one am I supposed to look at, Michael Bay? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I'm just like, that robot is awesome. Megan Fox is awesome. How do you know which one to look at? Michael Bay needs to do a better job of blurring the other one out.
All right,
I
so
can't see
what do you think
one
about the
of them.
Cylon?
Here's the okay. That just was like, hey, there's a silent, and nobody says anything about that.
Yeah, it's like,
Did you guys ever watch the cartoon?
Did anybody,
Yeah, I did. I don't
anybody
remember that,
talk
though.
about it in the cartoon?
Yep.
Did anybody talk about it?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
well, why? Okay, well,
Nobody even mentioned the fact that, oh crap, they can look like us. Is like
It was in the
totally
cartoon.
irrelevant. No, I'm saying in the
Fine.
movie, like there's a chick. She's
No,
a
see, here's-
robot,
here's why I
but
liked
nobody makes a comment on it. It's like, oh, that
Here's-
was a chick.
here's-
They can look like us now. Honestly, when that came up, I was like, oh, this is a turning point for the movie. This is going to be about
Yeah,
how
I
they-
kind of
at
thought so
all.
as well.
they've infiltrated us, right? And then it's like once she's dead, he never even mentions it.
See,
Like,
here's-
Shia LaBeouf.
They were too busy. The movie was too awesome and too crammed in there. So, but here's the thing I like about the movie. It was just a random summer fun fest with just robots fighting and blah blah blah. And you can just take it at that and just go with it and say, okay, I'll just throw away the plot. I don't even have to think about
think
the
that's
plot.
all you can
It was
do.
just robots
Yeah,
fighting.
yeah.
Unless you are a real. Unless you were a kid in the 80s and you love Transformers.
Yeah, if
I love
Because-
Transformers. I don't.
because
there's
they
stuff I don't
kept-
remember though.
Throughout the movie, they kept dropping little hints and little things and little words, and they kept showing little symbols that were from seasons 1, 2, and 3 and the original movie.
It's
And
Well,
definitely
I
a few
recognize
things-
some of it, but I mean that doesn't make it a better movie for me. It's just
but it's not. Then
it makes
You know
it.
what,
It was
Ryan? They
fun.
did the
There were
same
fun
thing in Star
parts.
Trek.
no.
And
See,
you hated Star
there
Trek.
is a difference though. There is a distinct difference, and we went into that. We've already gone over.
Well, I
that.
want to say one
That's-
thing. I want to
ugh.
finish the thought. So when I mentioned
Saying that on
there's
its own.
there's a few components that don't make it a great movie from like a well done movie.
The robots
perspective.
fight too good.
No, like okay.
I thought it was anticlimactic.
Here's an
at the
example.
end.
Remember that really epic moment where Shyla says, "Mom and Dad, you've got to go," and they jump in Bumblebee and they take off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Well, then 5-10 minutes later in the movie, where he spends forever running across like 10 feet of the desert, he gets there. Something really epic happens, and then Mom and Dad show up. So why didn't Shyla?
We made it.
Why didn't Shyla just jump in the car and ride with Mom and Dad? because they ended up at the same destination, only they didn't have a problem, and he could have avoided a major headache that happened.
War is crazy, Chris.
Yeah.
Stuff happens that you can't
No,
anticipate
it's just,
always.
It's like things like that. They walk out.
Matrix of leadership.
That was in the cartoon.
It's still stupid.
It's a real part of the
a lot of stupid
Transformers.
stuff was in
It's part of the
cartoon.
Transformers lore. Like if you took away the Matrix of leadership, you would not have the original
The
Transformers
Fallen
movie.
was built up, and then you don't see him for the whole movie, and at the end of the movie, he gets
But that's-
He gets
I know.
pounced
See,
a
that's the
little bit.
thing.
That's
I thought it
okay.
was super. There's this huge build up at the end, which was kind of fun to watch.
Although when
but it went on
when-
for a little bit too
when
long.
Optimus started going at it. Then
Yeah, that was really cool. That was really cool.
Great. That was great.
Optimus going at it was awesome to watch. That was.
I have a
Some of
man
us-
crush on a robot now. I'm just gonna say, I really
Of course you do.
I've got a Jack Bauer for that robot. I'm not kidding.
It's amazing.
Jack
But
Bauer.
when the Fallen did show up, it was like, look,
Don't
I can
spoil
lift
too much.
things.
Yeah.
It's
And that was.
And then they go they're at the museum of flight and history, and then they step
Yeah.
out and they're all the way across the United
they
States.
brought the space bridges, which is from the original,
Right.
from episode 1, I think, of the original.
really?
And all the way onward. I'm like they brought in a lot of the stuff, and they didn't really explain it. If you're in the movie and you don't know anything about Transformers, and you go in to watch it, okay, they just made a star bridge. Oh, they're in Egypt. You just be like, well, what the F happened? Well, I guess Michael Bay just took a shortcut and didn't really want to explain the plot.
No,
except
no,
that
I
I
wasn't
got
like
the
that.
Star Bridge thing. No, I wasn't talking about the jump to Egypt. I'm talking about when they walk out the hangar doors of the Museum of Flight and History.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden they're in the airplane boneyard, which is on the other side of the United States. One's in the Nevada desert and one's in D.C. Before they meet that
in
guy.
the movie, they put them in the same place.
They do that all the
right,
time.
but I know,
That's
but
fine.
That's fine.
but those are real places. Those aren't
I
made up
know.
places.
But I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
But here's the thing.
I didn't know that the Museum of Flight History
it was
didn't have a
unnecessary. That
boneyard
didn't
out
need to
back.
happen.
I
Why do
didn't
that?
either. I figured it was a different boneyard.
Why do that? It didn't need to happen.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying
But it was cool.
it was cool. But
The movie was cool.
it's things like that are like, okay, well, you just have to turn it off and be like, well, come on, this is based off a cartoon.
Well, it's either that or we could sit around and watch Lost in Translation, right?
Well, here's the thing. Look,
That's our two options.
the movie.
I mean, seriously,
Scarlett
it's
Johansson.
yeah, but see, the movie's bad. But
The movie can't. The movie is fun if
I
you're
liked it,
if
though.
you're able to transport yourself to
I put
whatever
this-
age you were when you watched Transformers.
Wait a
It
minute.
was
So
cool,
you're
but-
saying it's a good movie if you can suspend your disbelief and enjoy being in a
no,
different
no.
world?
It's the thing is
like a film.
look. I like the cartoon when I was little, but there's a lot of really stupid crap from the cartoon.
All
Whether
right,
you- whether
Ryan,
you
I'm
like
going
it
to
or
say
not.
something that you're not going to
Oh,
agree
sure.
with. I'm going to say something, but it is a movie that plays to like the the mainstream people that watch American Idol. This is like our version. It's kind of like stuff that's a little pandering in a sense,
Oh,
but
it's
we love
totally
it,
pandering.
but we love it.
Totally is.
You know,
yeah.
and in that way, I mean, I would. I do not have really.
yeah.
I'm saying these things to say I acknowledge that there is these issues that exist, but I still enjoy the movie. That's all I'm bringing up. I mean, I really
had
love
a
it.
decent time in
I
the
would-
movie.
I
have
walked
to say
out
that.
of there.
as far as to say
I
that
walked out of there very
enjoy-
pleased.
I enjoy the movie because of those things. Like
right.
honestly, we're not pandered to in that way that often.
Yeah.
We are more and more though.
But it's not a
good,
formula that's
and I
unique
like
to
that.
us. It's a formula. I mean, it's the same formula they use for Bad Boys. I mean, it's not anything too specifically unique.
Yeah,
The Rock
specifically,
and-
and I just want to say this because I've said this
but you know
before.
what? I like The Rock too.
that,
so.
that
Rock.
like
It's
Bad
a bad
Boys.
movie, I like
Bad
it.
Boys, I did not care for, but I forgive Michael Bay for Bad Boys and any other
But
bad movie
it is
he
the
ever
same
wants
exact.
to
it
make
is
because
the,
of this.
It is the quick camera pan up, then boom, slow mo, hit music, hair blows.
Yeah.
It's
It's
the same.
total formula. it's
Except for
total
2
formula.
hours of robot fighting. That's awesome.
Some of those
Right,
were
that's-
really awesome, though. My favorite action
Have you seen it more than
moments in the
once?
film
And
Seth?
The Rock
Have you
is
seen it more
great.
than once yet? It's
The
not actually
Transformers
2
too?
hours. It's not 2 hours. There's a lot of it in there, but it's not quite 2 hours. But there's a lot of it still.
It's a lot.
I would say that I enjoyed this movie. I was glad that I saw it,
The ass. Why do you have to flash the ass though?
but
I didn't
yeah,
need that.
there's some bad stuff. There's some bad stuff
Chris
that
has
makes
a real
it
problem with
that
male
makes
nudity.
it a
Everybody.
guilty
Turn up for a butt
pleasure.
nuke.
It's a guilty pleasure, is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I would say that, except I would also take it a step further and say that if you were a guy in the 1980s and you were alive, you'll like this movie.
I really think it is.
I don't know about that.
I
mean, if you like Transformers, you like this movie.
I love.
The thing is, there's a lot of people that hate this movie, and I think it's important to acknowledge maybe why they hate it. But I think you're not being practical if you didn't enjoy this movie, because the reality is it's a movie meant to have fun.
I think the only people that are disliking it, I think, are being kind of snobby about it. Like I was reading
I don't
through
think
like
so.
Metacritic and
I think it
like
depends on
Rotten
your point of
Tomatoes,
view.
and they're like, oh, Rotten
Yeah.
Tomatoes gave this movie like a 22%, which is like the lowest movie that's
No, it
currently
depends on
out
what you
there.
care about in movies. It has nothing to
Right,
do with
it does.
snobbishness.
if you care about like
enjoyment.
the stuff I just brought up.
The plot, the acting was actually decent.
It was.
And Megan Fox was gorgeous.
Gosh, Megan Fox was gorgeous.
Yeah, you guys are right. The sound effects were cool. The visual effects were cool.
It depends on what you like in
was
movies.
a lot of
The
fun.
visual effects were awesome, except for the one spot that I know
The
you.
pacing, there wasn't really much
Brian,
pacing.
I know
It was
you noticed that one scene in the movie where the visual effects failed hard, where the
yeah.
hand was where he was touching Bumblebee.
Oh
but
yeah.
I saw that
There was one or two
Early.
spots where
Yeah.
you can tell
But-
like they ran out of budget.
But
on doing some of the
otherwise,
special effects.
it looks like robots really exist.
Mhm.
fighting the hell out of each other.
Yeah.
In the
And like
forest.
ripping each other apart. It was awesome.
I liked
God,
the
it was
forest
awesome.
scenery way more than the desert scenery. I'm done with the desert. You know,
Yeah.
I have a huge nerd erection right now,
they
guys.
started in the desert in the
Love
first
this
movie,
movie.
and when they went to the
Yeah.
forest in this movie, I was like, awesome.
It was
Yeah.
great, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Crushing trees and
And I
throwing
loved.
them around.
I
Oh, they
loved-
were just knocking those trees too.
yeah,
Like,
some of
they-
them were like picking them up
Yeah,
and
that's
using them as
kinda
clubs.
great.
And that was the
Like,
thing.
that's
Is,
not gonna hurt him.
as a kid, you imagine you want to take your Transformer toys to like every different like possible setting. And in this movie they went through like the
Water?
urban
They
area
went underwater?
of
Deep
of
under the sea.
Japan, deep under
Barely,
the
though.
sea, in the desert, in the cities. I mean, in the forests. They were all over the place, and
But mostly the desert.
it pushed the visuals and it pushed the imagination, and I
I'll give
loved
you.
it.
I'll give you another example of where I could see where reviewers out there have an issue with it if they're looking at it from the wrong standpoint, and that is, okay, so Shia LaBeouf goes to college and he meets up with like, of course, the perfect opportunity roommate who happens to be
Yeah.
investigating robots, right?
Right.
And then he hangs with them
It's so original cartoon.
he hangs with them for the rest of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Why?
What's he bring?
Because comic relief. Because he's a coward.
Because Shiloh couldn't be the coward since he's been through it once, so they had to have the coward
Right.
in there.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, I know partway through the movie, I'm like, wait a minute, why is this?
Yeah, but
guy
you could
still-
ask-
Just like
you
you
could
said,
ask-
it was formula.
You could ask the same things about why some of the specific robots were there. I mean,
Yeah.
technically, they didn't do anything for the plot, a bunch of them, but they were cool.
But he had a lot of camera.
They
time.
just happened to be in the story.
He had like a lot of camera time.
He did. He's going to be in the third one also.
Great.
Good.
I was hoping they were going to bring back the hackers, either the hot blondie or the black kid.
Yeah, see, I didn't
They were
like
both
them as
fun.
much from the first one. The first one I found to be fun, but I didn't care for it as a movie that much. The second one, literally, is one of my favorite movies of the last year, easily.
I think
Wow.
I'm going
Easily.
to have plenty of re-enjoyment watching this movie.
That's my thoughts. This is the kind of movie that
Just
when I'm at home and just hanging out, I would throw
From-
this movie on. I will buy it in Blu-ray.
From a Blu-ray
and just
now,
love the hell out of it.
like this isn't going to be a movie that I'm going to watch and pick something out of it every time I watch it.
No.
Like if you watch Master and Commander, you're going to pick up different elements from it a few times through. Like you're going to watch that thing 3 times and you're still going to pick stuff
And
up.
every time at the end, you're going to go, wow, that was gay.
And then, but Transformers 2, you're going to be like, yeah, Megan Fox is hot and boy, robots fighting is cool.
Seriously, which honestly is far more important for a growing young man. Far more.
You're not young anymore, Brian.
Dude, this movie made me feel young. I loved this movie. I loved this movie. It's playing in the IMAX with 2.5 extra minutes of robot fighting. I really want to go see it in the IMAX again. I did because I didn't see it in IMAX the first time, just so I can see those extra 2.5 minutes. And it just absorbed.
So,
won't
okay,
even
John,
notice it.
but if you take away the fact that
I probably
if you
wouldn't
don't
notice
look at it from some of the things I brought up, it's a good movie, right?
Look,
It's a good movie. If you don't look at those aspects,
it's
right?
the plot was paper thin. Look, it's fun for robots fighting. That's the end.
But
I mean,
take-
and
Take
Megan
the
Fox.
plot thing out of it. Did you enjoy it? Did you
That's
have
what
a
I'm
good
saying.
time?
I said I enjoyed it okay.
then it
but
was a great film.
no. There's a difference. There's like a popcorn movie, which this was, and there's a movie that you go home and you think about later. This was not one of
All
those.
right, you know what's a great movie? Eraserhead. Great movie. Really don't enjoy it. But technically, it's like AFI Top 100. Great film. It meets all the criteria. Not a good movie.
I don't
Why?
care what the critics say.
Because I didn't enjoy it.
Fine.
But here's an example.
how it
But
works.
Dark Knight, and that was a great movie, and one that you can walk away firmly and say it was a well done movie too.
and talk about it later and think about it and have this one
Yeah.
we're talking about it, but we're pretty much talking about how cool robots fighting is
yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's got
and how hot Megan Fox is, and which are
got
very
a-
valid points
it's
and
got
made
a
the
lot
movie
of
enjoyable.
discussion. This
I
movie
would-
has had a ton of discussion.
I would wager to
so
say robots fighting and a hot chick is far more important than just about anything else you
Yeah.
can throw at it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do hear what you're saying, and I
What was that?
I
don't
will.
know what that noise
That's
is.
my caller ID. I
Oh,
will.
okay.
I will be getting this movie, and I will be watching this
Yeah.
movie.
Oh, hell yes.
But
Yep.
I do acknowledge there's things about it. I'm being practical here. I realize there's
There's lots of
legitimate
unnecessary
concerns.
scenes.
Well, there's a lot of the mom that's not needed.
Yes.
And there's
I disagree.
wasn't as funny.
I think that there were moments where you had to have a break because the adrenaline
But if
rush
you
from the
watch it-
robots
What?
fighting was
No,
too
if you
intense.
watch
So
it,
you
Brian,
needed a few
it's
minutes
like-
of goof off time.
It's almost like Michael Bay was afraid of having like when you're having a conversation and then you have like that awkward pause. It's like he was worried about having an awkward pause in the
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
So he would fill those spaces with jokes, but some of them would kind of land flat.
Oh
like,
yeah, a
Yes.
bunch of them landed flat.
like
Yeah.
the
For
ass, the ass. Hello.
Uh-huh.
He sh-
You were really
Thanks, John
fixated
Turturro.
on John
and-
Turturro's
and,
butt.
and 3 shots of the dogs humping.
Like I
Yeah.
gotta be honest, man. After I left the movie, I never thought about John Turturro's butt.
What about
I
three?
remember that scene.
What about
Every
3
time
separate shots
we've
of dogs
talked,
humping?
I think you
Mhm.
brought
And
up
one
John
robot.
Turturro's butt.
Huh?
One robot humping.
Oh yeah, the robot humping. Yeah. But, you know.
Honestly, I think I saw at least 2 or 3 guys like humping chairs
Honestly,
in the theaters while we were watching.
I would
that.
hump Megan Fox's leg.
Seriously? I mean, come on. What would you do if you're an alien robot and people would let you get away with it? You'd hump her leg.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
It's just
that
logical. Really, what we're upset about is that this movie is too logical and makes too much sense.
Whoa.
the setup for the sequel was just
That's
so
what I'm hearing.
like half-ass. I think.
Well, so was the last one. You know, he
Yeah,
always put
yeah.
the call out.
In the third one, those robots will fight
And
about something.
what's his tape? The tape deck guy is still up there, plugged into the
Soundwave.
satellite.
Soundwave,
Yeah.
whose voice, by the way, sounds great. They got Soundwave's voice pretty well nailed.
But he's still all hooked up to the satellite, so he's still listening.
And they made a real heavy emphasis on Energon in this one, as well as in addition to the Matrix of Leadership. And
Yeah.
I mean, the fact they gave a lot of homages to people who were hardcore into G1 and G2 Transformers. And if you're really into that sort of thing, you will enjoy the hell out of this movie. There's just no other way around it. If you weren't into those things, you might think it was kind of retarded. But
well, no, you can still
that's
like
all right.
if you still think Megan Fox is hot, you're still.
Or you like robots
So-
or fighting.
So loved it, and I liked it, but I would understand if someone else didn't like it.
Which makes sense why Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes gave it like a 20-something.
22.
22 out of
Yeah.
100. All I gotta say is
I would've
the
given it at
critics
least
and
a
the
70.
reviewers who are out there reviewing this, they're giving it low scores because they're afraid that if they say that they liked it, people will think, oh, well, they're not very good at reviewing the movies because they don't understand what a good movie and film
I
is
think
supposed
that's
to
too
be.
easy to write off. I think if you
Cinema.
read some of those reviews,
I think it's-
they have
They're
some valid
awful
complaints.
reviews.
I think
a
Some
lot
of
of
them
them
sound
are.
like they were
They're
I think
poorly
if you
written
look at it
movie.
from the aspects that we mentioned, then I think I could see where they're coming from. But I think you have to. I know it's
I am kind of ambivalent.
I know it's kind of an excuse, but I think you have to realize that it's not like it's a movie based on like a like when Terminator Salvation came out. That was based from 2 of the best
2 great movies.
that genre of movies,
And one not so good.
and one but this is based on a cartoon that's just a lot of fun as a kid.
A cartoon
And
that was
Yeah.
made
and
just as a commercial
and
for
it's a-
toys.
Yeah,
It was fun.
just to sell toys.
And that's what this is too. I mean,
It totally
there's quick spoiler.
for
there's
sure.
there's just a scene where Optimus Prime kind of gets like an upgrade, which is totally unnecessary and only for a new toy.
Yep.
I mean, that's the only reason they did it.
so that they can make a kit with this little snap-on
Uh-huh.
pieces.
Oh,
which
yeah,
You
I
have to
for
buy a
sure.
new toy.
I want that.
I do too, actually.
But
This movie worked.
so if you're looking at it from the same standpoint that you revert, if you look at it as the same way you would review Terminator Salvation, I say it maybe doesn't hold up. But if you look at it in the same way, I'm not comparing them. I'm just saying if you look at the same eye, if you look at it from the standpoint of it came the source material is a a kids cartoon. I think it does a great job.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. So that.
And we all know
That
G.I.
wraps
Joe
that
will
up.
just be just as good, right?
Oh Lord, G.I. Joe looks
That
bad.
looks so bad.
Oh man. Oh man.
Gotta be
so
there.
bad.
All right,
Gotta watch
we've
so
passed the hour mark.
All right.
so-
Well, let's wrap this up. So this is the last show of the season, everybody.
Yes,
Mhm.
sir.
Yeah.
So big moment in time
Which we
Yeah.
haven't even
Huge.
discussed when the
where we
season
can
will
be all
return.
we could be.
But
We don't
usually
know
what we
exactly.
do is we kind of hold tight until the
Some big new stuff or
yeah,
movies.
or
Next
or
TV
or our
season,
our
maybe?
TV
Yeah,
shows
we'll
return.
probably sit tight when a couple of sci-fi TV shows are back on the air.
Yeah.
CastaBlasta will return.
But
You can
basically-
smell it in the air.
Stay
There's not a whole lot going on for the summer blockbusters. We had the big blockbusters.
We got
I mean,
Harry Potter coming up.
I know. Coming up is like Harry
That
Potter
looks good to
and
me.
G-Force.
That
and
looks good. I don't care.
I
It looks good.
don't know that there's any big titles that we might want to dig
No.
into.
Well,
Not
we'll
really.
keep
Not
everybody
really.
posted. I mean, of course, if you just stay subscribed to the RSS feed, you'll get a new episode when we release it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, follow us on Twitter, and that we'll post there for
Mhm.
sure. And
Yeah.
probably make a post
Absolutely.
on the forum, and
and I think Facebook.
we'll keep everybody
I
posted.
think Facebook.
So, because when we figure it
Usually.
out, we'll announce it.
Absolutely. And of course, head over to JupiterColony.com where you can tell us how right we are about how good
your
Transformers
typing.
2
Mm.
is.
Using a forum.
In the forum.
Yes.
It's very exciting.
Yeah.
It's new technology.
Yeah.
And that's about all I've got here. Anyone else want to add anything before we sign off for the season?
No, I just want to say, guys, great job.
Yeah,
Hey,
great
season
job.
three.
Hey,
I've had a
Way
great
to
time
go.
working with all of you.
stay
I promised
cool.
myself I wasn't going to cry, but
It's all right.
Do it.
We usually cry after
Yeah.
Captain
If I
Hey.
punch you, will that
anyways.
help?
yes.
All right, everybody. Thanks again for tuning in, and we will see you guys eventually.
In season
Yes,
4.
sometime.
For sure.
At least.
Give or take.
Amazing production.
What?
Amazing
We're in the can.
production. Amazing production.
We only got, like, half
Quality.
the top of
Super
this.
amazing.
Quality.
There's a bunch more.
Amazing
Blast.
production.
Well, it's mostly because you
Quality.
won't no.
I won't what?
You won't shut up.
I talk.
We all talk.
Well, that's what you do on a podcast.
Is it?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. We
The
talk
good
sometimes.
ones. Not all of them, though. Some podcasters haven't figured that out yet, and that's part of their problem. Am I right?
Zing.
Am I right?
Zing.
Yeah, I'm right.
Some podcasters like to put a webcam on them and then sit there and look bored after they ask people questions.
What?
Leo Laporte.
All right, everybody in the chat room.
Thanks,
Thanks for
everybody.
listening.
Oh, I
Those
want to
good
say
times.
one more thing to the people in the chat room.
What's happening?
Butt nukes.
Yeah,
Butt nukes, right?
good job. That's
That was
We
a,
got
that's a
'em.
good phrase, Chris. I like
I think
that.
that was John's phrase. That wasn't mine.
Was that John's?
Yeah.
No, somebody said somebody said butt nukes, and I just said been there. That's all.
Oh, I think it was you, Chris.
Oh,
I think it
good
was yours.
job, me.
Chris
Yeah.
came up with butt
Yeah,
nukes.
well, no, Brian said shoot nukes from the butt, and then Chris
yeah.
said butt
Oh,
nukes.
Yeah, I
okay.
did not put two and two together that you
No.
can make it
No,
one
no.
singular phrase, and that's very exciting for
Yeah.
all of
Well,
us. Yeah.
hello.
We need a wiki page.
We really do need a wiki page.
That is a badass background. Look at that, real quick.
I wish it went all the way behind you.
I've been watching that. That's
Well,
on
if
that's on watch
we
now on Netflix.
Sat in a triangle.
Season 1, anyway.
Yeah.
You mean like the
Yeah.
shape of the ship from Asteroids?
Right. All right, I'm gonna stop the recording. So if we drop
All right.
you know, that's
Yeah,
what
thing.
happens.
Later,
Stuff.
everybody.
Bye.